Mini Magic Mystery Special Wish You Were Here, Side B. The guinea pigs flew round Ponyland in a daze for the next week or so, unable to get back to Rainbow Land, but unable to communicate with anybody in their current location either. "This is absolutely pointless, Twinkle," Sparkle cried, in exasperation on the 12th of July. "We may not know how to send a dream message, but there's nothing worse that we can do than sit around and wait for something to happen. Because the next thing that's likely to happen is that those horrible people who Mary Clockton speaks of will come to collect Desiree's ponies and set the helpers free."
"So what do you, suggesting that we do, you know?"
Twinkle asked. "Even if we don't know the correct way to send the dream message, Twinkle, we shall have to try tonight." Desiree awoke the following day from a bad nightmare. It wasn't her usual kind of nightmare, though. It had involved Sparkle and Twinkle, which had upset her in itself. But they had been telling her something through a series of pictures. These involved David and some of her ponies disappearing and being carried away in a black bag. Desiree often had strange nightmares, though, so she didn't take much notice. That is, until at almost 7:30 p.m. she noticed that the very ponies she had been dreaming had disappeared, were no longer on the lounge floor. "Where can they have gone?" Desiree exclaimed.
"What? Where can what have gone, Desiree?"
Splodge asked. Desiree explained about the missing ponies, and then about her strange nightmare.
"You know, Desiree, this doesn't sound all that good."
"No, it doesn't sound good at all, Splodge, but I don't know what it all means."
"Well, I'm thinking that maybe your pony's disappearance has got something to do with David."
"What you mean to say, Splodge, is that my nightmare may not have just been a figment of my imagination at all, but instead something that somebody sent me as a message in my dream."
"I'm sorry to say, Desiree, I think that may well be the case. We'll have to go to Ponyland tomorrow and see if the ponies can tell us anything about it."
"I only hope, Splodge, if what you're saying is correct, it isn't too late by then." Sparkle and Twinkle were worrying quite a lot when Desiree had still not come to Ponyland on Monday the 16th of July. Had their dream message not got through to her after all? Or did she even care about the ponies? The two ginger guinea pigs had gone down to Earth and floated around down there for a while the previous day, and had found out that Desiree had paid the very people who were supposed to be coming to take her ponies away for something or other to do with ponies. Maybe customizing supplies. "Oh, whatever is going on?" Sparkle said to Twinkle.
"I don't know, but I don't think it's good. And until she comes and does something, we can't even go back to Rainbow Land."
"Indeed, that is the case, Twinkle," Sparkle sighed. "We can try another dream message tonight, I suppose, just in case there is a slight chance that the first one didn't get through." But as you know, Desiree had received the message, and she was intending on doing something. The question was, what? She decided to think about it for one more day, but then she could not risk it any longer, and on Tuesday the 17th of July, she would go to Ponyland and find the missing MLPs. It was actually Wednesday when both Desiree and Splodge went to Ponyland again. Having gone into Paradise Estate, Desiree and Splodge began to explain all about Desiree's dream message from Sparkle and Twinkle. The ponies were quite surprised.
So you actually mean to say that you think it might be from Sparkle, rather than just some random message that your mind made up?
Lofty asked. I do think so. It just seemed that way. It seemed too magical to be a normal dream. It was exactly how Sparkle conveyed a message to me from Twinkle once before. But that's impossible, Desiree. I don't think that anybody in Rainbow Land can actually send a message, you know.
Anyhow, what's it supposed to mean?
Dodge said.
After all, no ponies have actually gone missing, have they? Sounds like some stupid little joke that Sparkle and Twinkle would have pulled on you. Scanny, Ganny?
Dodge aimed up at the sky.
Stupid like Fatty Ratty, you know?
Twinkle said to Sparkle, as the two guinea pigs watched from a nearby cloud. Actually, Dodge, some ponies have gone missing. The very ponies that I dreamt had gone missing.
Oh, now that sounds slightly more believable. Well, you know, I was just thinking the same thing myself.
Pinkie Pie looked around nervously.
Maybe you could tell us a bit more about the dream, and then we might be able to help you.
And so Desiree proceeded to go right through the dream. From the very start, where Sparkle had told her to listen carefully, to the very end, where Twinkle had ended the story, telling her about David crawling through the tunnel and leaving her ponies in the dungeon below Dream Castle. That, doesn't sound good at all, you know. Cassie, Sparkle and Twinkle's older sister, said. I think that my younger brothers were, trying to get a message to you. But I don't, quite understand it. It somehow sounds like your, father came and stole some of your ponies and gave them to, the former helpers, in the hopes that they will, give him something in return, But I'm not actually sure what. Well, whatever the reason, we must go and save them.
Yes, especially considering the bit of the dream message which none of you seem to have taken much notice of. The fact that a group of friends of the helpers are coming to take them away.
They're getting there, Twinkie. They're getting there, Sparkle said, excitedly jumping around on the cloud.
My name's Twinkle, not Twinkie, Sparky.
Sparkle's twin retorted. A, B, F, P, and R, B are the ringleaders, Desiree said, thinking hard. This really doesn't sound good at all, if the initials do belong to who I am thinking of. I think that they may be some of the meanest people in the world.
Really, Desiree? What do you mean by that?
Dodge asked her. Well, the people who I'm thinking those initials might belong to have just written something on the internet, a schedule for an event which they're holding at the end of October, in which they claim they will be using non-Hasbro ponies and poor condition MLPs in a rather nasty way. All of the slaughter will take place in the name of entertainment, which is sick enough in itself. But more worryingly, I think I now have a good idea of where they're intending on getting the poor, bad condition ponies from. And so, throughout the 19th and 20th of July 2007, the friends worked on their ideas on how to save Desiree's stolen ponies. They decided to form rescue parties, with the largest going down to the dungeons below Dream Castle, where they expected Desiree's ponies still were. It's getting too late tonight, Dodge said sadly, and yawned. I know, Desiree sighed, and I shall be busy for most of the weekend. I'll have to try to get up here sometime, though. Maybe on Sunday evening? The ponies agreed that this was absolutely fine with them. They just wanted to save Desiree's poor little ponies as fast as possible, In fact, they were rather reluctant to wait that long.
Well, you know, I'm just thinking, if we're gonna leave it that long, don't you think maybe we ought to have somebody keep an eye on Dream Castle?
Pinkie Pie asked. That's right, Pinkie Pie, Starcatcher quickly agreed. After all, Desiree has told us about these strange humans. I wouldn't trust them to hang around much longer. They're likely to make their invasion very soon.
Don't worry, Twinkle. We are, doing something about what you told us in the dream.
Poncho, Sparkle and Twinkle's younger brother, called out of a Paradise Estate window.
We're just taking a little longer than you might have, liked. Don't worry, Desiree,
Dodge said.
We'll guard the castle for you. After all, a magical Ponyland guinea pig cannot fail.
Thank you, Dodge, Desiree smiled. I only wish that we could start the search tonight. But as the sun set and the moon rose high in the sky, it seemed more and more dangerous to go anywhere near the former Black Pony helpers, who always seemed to be more active at this time of day. So I shall return on Sunday evening, Desiree promised, and then we will see what we can do. It was actually Monday the 23rd of July before the rescue team finally did start their trek from Paradise Estate to Dream Castle, where they hoped to find the missing ponies. It was pouring with rain in Ponyland, and the friends were soaked by the time they reached their destination. Groups of MLPs surrounded each and every known entrance or exit to the dungeon below the Dream Castle's floor, making sure that no unwanted visitors were going down to see the former helpers.
Well, I think we ought to go down there then, Desiree,
Splodge said, looking up at his owner.
I don't like danger, but I am very brave. Once, a very long time ago, I had to have 2 teeth removed.
Dodge shot his brother a look, knowing that Splodge was only saying this to annoy him. But Splodge continued to tell everybody about how he now had to have his top teeth filed down every 3 weeks. The ponies glanced at each other and got ready to go down the stairs to the sealed room below. Meanwhile, Twinkle was watching the former helpers in the room below Dream Castle, while his brother Sparkle went off on an important mission. He had already learnt that the people who wanted the ponies which David had brought up to the former helpers were coming tomorrow, since AB had almost got over her recent trauma and had decided to do more work on her plans of destruction. Just then, Sparkle returned from his mysterious journey and told Twinkle where he had been and what he had found out. Twinkle looked at him blankly and then realized what his brother was trying to say.
What are we gonna do about it,
Twinkle said. Well, obviously, Twinkle, we're going to have to tell Desiree.
But how are we gonna do that? It's too late now. She's not gonna go to sleep before she comes down here now,
That may well be the case, but I think that it's worth a try at least. Maybe if we both work together.
Well, let's go then. I, as the magical Ponyland guinea pig, shall lead the way.
Dodge was just about to go running down the steps when Desiree suddenly shouted after him, "Stop! Dodge! There's something! Somebody is trying to tell me something! Wait just a moment! I think they're telling us not to go down to the room." As Desiree heard certain words coming into her mind, she repeated them to the ponies in fits and starts. Someone coming tomorrow. 2 groups of people, actually. One friend, one foe. Friends help us catch foe on camera. David, possibly, here too. I think Sparkle and Twinkle are telling us not to go down to the underground room until tomorrow, when some friends will come to help us defeat our foes. The foes must be the people who want to take my ponies away, and we're supposed to catch them on camera. 60 might be here as well.
It's part of the group of foes, I would guess.
Dodge muttered. Most likely, Desiree replied angrily. Why don't you stay at Dream Castle for the night, little ponies? Majesty suggested. And then tomorrow you will not have to go on the long trek again. Hopefully your friends will find their way here and will be able to help you rescue the ponies.
Can't you tell us who the friends and foe are by looking into your magic mirror, Majesty?
Lofty asked. That, I'm afraid, Lofty, is impossible. I'm not allowed to do that.
Doesn't matter. We'll find out tomorrow anyway.
Splodge said.
And right now, I can get some sleep.
And with that, Splodge lay down on his side and began to snore. Would you like to come through to the Grand Hall? Majesty asked. I have prepared a banquet for you, for when you returned from saving the ponies. But we can't have the food go to waste, so you can come and eat it now if you wish. Will there be cucumber cakes? Dodge asked.
Oh, yeah.
I help with food preparation,
Coconut Cream said.
and I can guarantee there are plenty of cucumber cakes there, Dodge.
And for once, Splodge won't be able to eat them all.
Dodge said, looking at his sleeping brother and chuckling to himself.
Cucumber cake tea, here I come!
Dodge shouted and jumped up in the air.
Did I hear someone say cucumber cake?
Splodge asked, stretching as he woke up.
Just great. Why do I always have to open my big mouth?
Dodge stomped his foot angrily.
Well, if there are cucumber cakes around, I can't afford to keep on sleeping here on the floor. Where are they?
And Splodge and Dodge raced into the Grand Hall, ahead of everybody else, and the others followed them to their banquet tea, laughing as they went, and trying not to think about what horrors the following day may bring. The 24th of July 2007 dawned, and the ponies, guinea pigs and humans waited and waited for any sign of their friends or foes. They waited and waited a little longer. Soon the morning was over, then the afternoon, and then the evening. Nothing had happened. And still a little voice in Desiree's head insisted that they must not go down into the underground room until both parties had shown up. And so the rescue party waited and waited and waited, deciding that they would have to rescue the MLPs from Desiree Skylark's My Little Pony Rescue Home tomorrow, or whenever the search party's friends and foes finally decided to show up. The rescue party feared that the same thing was going to happen again the next day, especially once they had wasted the entire morning and the best part of the afternoon waiting and waiting and waiting. But then suddenly, a strange echoing sound began to drift across the field outside Dream Castle and towards the castle's arched doorway.
What on earth is that?
Dodge said, at first disgusted that this strange noise was interrupting his latest cucumber snack. But once he saw the worried look on his brother's face, he began to worry himself.
I don't know, Dodge, but it sounds dangerous, and I don't like danger, as you must know by now, my dearest brother.
Then a voice in Desiree's head spoke. The same voice which she had heard before. Desiree repeated each word as she heard it. No need fear, Dodge. It's friends, not foes. I do not understand.
Was that something that somebody said to you that they didn't understand, or that you didn't understand? Because I don't like danger, and danger's something that nobody would understand.
Splodge shouted. No, it's me who doesn't understand. Somebody is singing.
I think that that's quite obvious. And if I must say so myself, they're not very good singers. Just stop it now, whoever you are, and stop interrupting my cucumber cake.
Interrupting your cucumber cake? You're having cucumber cake without me, Dodge?
Oh, please stop arguing. We need to find out what's going on. If our friends are here, it probably means that our foes are already downstairs. Desiree looked up to see one of the former helpers, one of the ones who had betrayed the black ponies, and somebody else who she recognized. That's her, Dodge said, giving his brother a sideways glance and pretending to toss his fur back, trying to show who he meant.
Oh, I understand,
Splodge said eventually.
So, they are our friends, but not particularly people that we wanted to see.
They may still help us, Desiree said. But the two people dancing around simply said that they were singing the song on behalf of somebody in the room for the benefit of somebody else. But they didn't say who.
You picked up too many ideas from the black ponies. Why do you have to confuse us all? 'Cause I simply don't understand.
Dodge began to stamp his foot impatiently. Just let them finish, and then we will get on with saving the ponies, the important business, Desiree said. If they want to get their message across to whoever the person may be, then, well, they can do. The song ended, and Desiree was sure that it was all over. Until, that is, it started up again. Now this is silly, Desiree said. We have important things to do, and you're singing a song. But the woman, who Dodge disliked so much, just shook her head and handed a piece of paper to Desiree. Written on it were the words, "A song from you to her." She will understand if it comes from us. Well, since I don't understand, I don't see how she will, whoever she is. But they would not stop. We need to get down the hole, Desiree said. We need to save the ponies. But the two people ignored her. That was until Majesty twirled her horn, and finally the awful noise was turned off, meaning that the two terrible singers had to stop singing. They protested, of course, saying that each word of the song meant something, although probably a different meaning to what it was supposed to mean. I don't know what you're talking about, Desiree said, but really I don't see that it matters. Whatever the point that you were trying to get across. But suddenly Desiree realized and smiled. I know you meant your best, but we really need to get down that hole. She quickly explained the situation to the two newcomers, and without further ado, all of the rescue party started to bound down the stairs to the underground room below. Sparkle and Twinkle, still drifting around in the room below, covered their eyes with their paws, knowing what was to come. As Truly, Lancer, Lofty and Pinkie Pie skidded to a halt at the bottom of the stairs, gasping as they saw the sight in front of them. Everybody else went into the back of them, and a pile-up of ponies, humans and guinea pigs formed on the stairs. Splodge and Dodge looked up to see what had caused the ponies to stop so suddenly.
Why, if it isn't the troublesome trio and all of their friends!
Dodge exclaimed, looking at a whole group of people who had somehow got into the underground room, probably through the same network of pipes that David had used. One by one, all of Desiree's ponies were being handed through the bars, segregating one side of the room for the former helpers, and were being placed into big woolen sacks, which all of the nasty people on this side of the bars were carrying. And once they had the ponies safely in their bags, everybody could see that the ringleader of the group, who was wearing barely any clothing on the upper half of her body apart from a black scarf featuring the red letters ANNA, was holding a huge key ready to let the former helpers loose, and she was probably hoping to join a new band of black pony helpers, if the colours of her scarf were anything to go by. A woman dressed in dance attire with rather large teeth, who was taking the ponies through the bars, stood by ANNA's side. Across her red top, she had the letters FREYA, written in black and silver sequins. Finally, a morose-looking woman stood on the end of the front line, wearing a white t-shirt with butterfly wings on the back of it. It appeared, though, that she had decided to take some brightly coloured markers to her t-shirt and customise it, since she had written in scrawly writing across the front, "My name is Robin, and I am very important." It seemed these people even felt the need to customise their clothing. I might have known that there was a huge con involved in this business, Desiree said sarcastically. All of the people sneered back at her. And so, with that, the battle commenced. The battle continued for over 24 hours, with both real weapons and paint flying everywhere. Finally, at 8:30 p.m, the ponies began to see some progress. The humans were tired, and they began taking it in turns to stop and take a drink. However, they hadn't reckoned on the baby ponies, who had snuck in during the battle and replaced all of the water in the humans' bottles with black paint. Of course, it was not very good for the humans to drink such large quantities of black paint, and soon they were all feeling sick, giving the MLPs the perfect opportunity to push them through the barred door and into the enclosure with the former helpers. "Well, what a fine mess you've gotten yourselves into there," Truly said, and all of the ponies laughed before making their way back up the steps and into Dream Castle, along with all of Desiree's plastic My Little Ponies, safely taken from Freya's bag before they had pushed her into the dungeon.
We shall have to decide what we will do to punish them. After all, they haven't actually done anything wrong, had they? They are only intending on doing something wrong, and I don't believe that Holy Land law carries that,
Kiwi Tart said. "Indeed, that may be a problem, Kiwi Tart," Majesty said, "but I'm sure that we will figure out something. Those con women will not get off lightly. We shall make sure that they pay for their nasty intentions, and we shall stop them from destroying ponies once and for all." Sparkle and Twinkle cheered together from the high ledge in the underground room from which they had been watching. Once the battle was over, they thought that they would be able to get back into Rainbow Land. However, they were in for a nasty shock. Having flown up into the higher clouds, they found that the Golden Gates were still closed.
That is like so odd, you know. I don't understand that. Why aren't we allowed back in?
Twinkle said. I do not know, Twinkle. I only hope that once the fate of the criminals has been decided upon, we shall be allowed back into Rainbow Land. If we are not, then... Well, Twinkle, I don't want to upset you with the terrible thoughts which have crossed my mind. Originally, the ponies had had to set the humans free, since they had no evidence of the crimes which they had committed, or rather, the evil plans which they had intended on carrying out. But following their first day of release, VI, better known to some people as A, had committed a serious crime, and so it was up to the 4 former helpers, who were now on the MLP's side, and all of their families and friends, to track down the criminals and get them back to Ponyland. Finally, all of the nasty people were rounded up and brought back to Ponyland on Thursday, August the 2nd. This was a difficult case, though, since the humans had still done nothing to directly affect the MLPs in Ponyland. So once again, the nasty people were thrown into the large room beneath Dream Castle alongside the former Black Pony helpers. The ponies would have to work something out and charge the criminals tomorrow, on Friday, August the 3rd, 2007. Everybody in Ponyland seemed to have a different view on what should happen to the latest human criminals to invade the magical world in the clouds. On the one hand, if they released them, they were obviously going to cause some harm, either to so-called lifeless plastic ponies down on Earth, or worse still, they would come to Ponyland, free the former Black Pony helpers, and form a whole new nasty team. However, on the other hand, they had not committed any crimes yet, and Ponyland law stated quite clearly that nobody could be charged on speculation of future crimes. That would just not be fair. So in the end, it was decided that the ponies would have to free these nasty humans, although the MLPs did not tell them this at first, and made them endure an evening of horror, with a role reversal of ponies and humans. Lifeless, fakey My Little Ponies were brought to life, and made to hold blowtorches up to A, B, and FP, who were tied to a post in the center of the room, making sure to never hurt the humans, for ponies are far too kind to ever perform an act of such cruelty. They just came near enough to worry the humans a little. One of the girls, known to everyone as D, even though her real name started with C, was forced to listen to an account of how one of her pieces of artwork had been stripped and restored to its former glory, when the ponies had invaded Nightmare Castle and rescued all of the custom ponies in the helpers' communal room. SM, better known to everybody in the room as PC, was told how she had a rather strange appearance, and that, as far as the ponies were concerned, it was not cool to keep saying not cool all the time. RB was informed that breaking 2 children's toys and sticking them together was not a lovingly created piece of artwork, but a violently cobbled together piece of destruction, and was forced to watch as the 2 toys were fixed back together and turned back to their former selves. RB would not be getting any £50 notes for this little mess. Finally, when the ponies were certain that they had put the humans through enough, they all ROFPTS LOL together, and told the humans that they were free to go, on the condition that they were not rude to DSA and JMA, better known as DSM and JMM to themselves, or as L and PEO to the nasty humans in the room, on on the 28th of October when they knew they would all meet again.
After all,
Dodge said, glaring at the humans.
it's hardly fair to be rude to someone and refuse to speak to them just because they don't have the same twisted brains as yourselves.
PKW, also known as SAS, backed away, followed by the rest of the helpers. She considered herself especially lucky since she had now been set free by the ponies twice, unlike most of her friends who had only escaped the once. The MLPs were still not certain if they had done the right thing, but after Majesty had made sure to destroy the rainbows which the nasty humans had somehow created to get up to Ponyland, they felt slightly safer. They had done the best they could. After all, they could not convict the humans for crimes which they had not yet committed. Sadly, that was the truth.
But at the first sighting of trouble on October the 27th, Desiree,
Pinkie Pie said,
you know where to send them. And of course we will.
Splodge said.
After all, if they were locked up, it might be a lot less dangerous round here. And I don't like danger, you know.
Everybody laughed and got ready for a celebratory party, with friendly rescue homes supporting humans, including some of the former Black Pony helpers, the guinea pigs, and of course, the MLPs themselves. Meanwhile, while the party was going on upstairs, the helpers down in the room below Dream Castle were fuming.
Those ponies got the better of us again, Mary. Are we ever gonna get out of here?
Of course we will, Eleanor. And it will be very soon, I promise. And Mary Cluckton cackled her evil cackle, which she had taught the Black Ponies all that time ago. One by one, all of the former helpers who hoped to soon be Black Pony helpers once more were cackling along with her, sitting in a big circle on the floor of the room below Dream Castle, determined to soon be instilling fear into all of the inhabitants of Ponyland, and so quickly helping Mary with ideas for her latest and most evil scheme yet. Someone else was listening to the music playing in the grand hall of Dream Castle, but these two brothers were not half so infuriated to hear the ponies having fun, since the ponies were their friends. Instead, they smiled at each other as they began to drift higher into the lighter, fluffier, pinker clouds above those where Ponyland was located, to the magical land with the golden gates, hoping that once more they may be admitted. Eventually, the music drifted away completely. Of course, the two little guinea pigs, known as Sparkle and Twinkle, were sad to hear the last traces of their old friends fading away from their ears. But they were happy to see the sight in front of them, and pleased that the music down in Ponyland would not interrupt the beautiful music that began to play as two small, pink glowing creatures floated gracefully through the golden gates, which had now opened especially for them, or the song which the brothers themselves began to sing as they flew happily together deep into their new home in Rainbow Land.
You leave the ground like so easily. Float along so breezily. Here we are, you and I, too far the sky. Above the clouds, you know, hovering,